Good morning, Doug here from the Hundredfold Journey. Thanks again for joining us on this Sundays with Doug, where we come alongside of you, where we're building new habits, rewiring our brain, and creating a new identity, because we're all on this journey together. And as we talk through some of these lessons, especially today, we're hoping they are going to be encouraging to you and basically seeing how our mindset has changed from our current mindset to a new mindset. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But the Hundredfold is about a group of people who are looking to find their true identity. And by doing so, finding God's true identity, because we do have the power to choose. We're in a series called We Have the Mind of Christ. And what exactly does that look like? It's a pretty lofty statement. We have the mind of Christ. What does that mean? What does that look like? For the last several weeks, we've been talking about the science behind what it looks like, where we have the power within our mind to change the environment around us just by our thoughts, and as our mind and our heart are coherent. So we're digging into exactly what that looks like and what difference does it really make when we have the mind of Christ. So we're going to dig into that even more today. But before we do that, as we do each week, wanted to share a 10 truth that may have come up for those that are online today. So if somebody would like to share where a 10 truth came up in this last week, and maybe we could all learn from what that really means when we talk about these 10 truths. So who would like to start?
Yeah, I actually have a really good one. So I think it was like a week ago. I was stressing out and having a lot of anxiety and fear because I'm like, I'm such a great MMA fighter, great wrestler. Somebody who's been doing this is almost his entire life. I mean, since a kid. And how come I'm wasting my passion and talent? I'm too old to be fighting. Guys that go into fighting at my age are coming out, they're retiring, so that fear built in, and it kind of hurt me. And I'm like, dude, I just wasted all that talent when I could have done that. But I was at the gym yesterday, and this young, tall, athletic man came up to me, and he said, hey, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to fight. I want to learn how to kick. So I started teaching him, and within the 3 minutes, Jeremy and I saw improvement in this guy that is literally championship material. And it was kind of a sign from God saying, listen, I know you might be a little too old to get into the UFC, but I'm giving you an opportunity to maybe coach this guy and
Oh,
drill a
very
passion
cool.
into this guy.
Yep.
And you'll life is what is it, one life is a mirror to reflects back what I truly believe and think. And if I think I'm a good fighter and know I'm a good fighter, but I know that I don't want to get hurt at this age.
Right.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with thinking that. And for somebody to come up to you and want advice as a coach, there's many opportunities in that to be a fighting coach. You still get to be around fighting. You still can, be around the octagon and watch that and be around that. And, I think a little bit of part of my dream is starting to come a little bit to truth and fruition. And I also had another fear about music. And now I know it's like, don't fear those things, because opportunities don't come around when you fear. The more you fear, the less you'll see those opportunities because you're so scared. And
Mhm.
now I'm just going to be like, no. So I think also being God to that person, and just being kind, and
Right.
not being like, oh yeah, you're a new guy, oh well,
Mm.
we can't teach you. No, it was full arms open, and
Yep.
it was a huge moment for me, and I really enjoyed that.
Yep. There's also another one. I'm always in the right place at the right time,
Right.
right? Because you just happened to be there at the same time as this guy was there.
Right.
And then God has granted you favor in the sight of those around you. He actually came up to you and
Yeah.
talked to you because he saw something in you
and
that was
and
approachable.
and I was talking, I think, to you about losing the hunger.
Hmm.
And maybe I've lost a little bit of the hunger of getting out there in the octagon and getting punched in the face or whatever it is, but the hunger of the passion of wrestling and teaching hasn't gone away. And Jeremy and I looked at each other and we said, "Hey, this is an opportunity. We can see this as a positive celebration of this young man that
Yep.
his dream, he's not too late. Not saying we're too late, but
Yep.
he's not in the retirement age. He's
Right.
in the age of learning.
Yep.
So, you know,
Yep. And then another one is circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters. So you were in the right state of being, which is in a spirit of gratitude, not fear, not doubt, not self-condemnation. But hey, life is good. And then it started it started manifesting and coming towards you.
and the
Yeah.
crazy thing, just one more thing, and the crazy thing
Yep.
about that part is that I used when I was in the 30 fold, I used to say, well, why can't I hear God? Why can't I hear him? But then I forget God speaks different languages.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
God spoke to me through that young man, even though he wasn't like, "Hey, Michael, you're the chosen one. I love you, and you're made of gold and honor."
Yeah.
No, it was spoken through another human being's passion, which was ignited something inside of me. And I think that's the way God truly works. Is He works through nature, He works through vision, He works through language. He doesn't just come off from a cloud and be like, "Hey, man," you know.
Right. Yep.
So.
Yep. Exactly. No, very good. Very good. Excellent illustration there. Anybody else would like to share before we move on?
Well, I just have a quick one.
Yeah.
So my daughter was kind of having this issue where she was getting bullied a lot consistently, both like at school and also at a supposed friend's house.
Mm.
And so at first, I mean, when I went through all the normal routes that you're supposed to go through, talk to the school, talk to the parents.
Yep.
Nothing was working. So I was getting really, really angry. And I was like, what do I do in this situation? I'm really mad and I want to act on my anger. And I had to take a lot of deep breaths, a lot. And
Yeah.
the first thing that came to mind, because I wasn't in a peaceful mindset, was he who angers you controls you. And so
Ooh, I like that statement. Yep.
I wasn't even going through the 10 truths because my mind was in like kind of survival, like anger
Yep.
mode. And then once I did that, I took some more deep breaths and I was like, okay, well, I can be God to someone today. And I spoke to the little girl, and what I wanted to say to her before I calmed myself down and thought about what I was going to say was, not very nice.
Right.
And
Yep.
I spoke to her and I just said, said, hi, how are you? I heard about what's been going on and it's okay. I forgive you, but, try to make sure, it doesn't happen again. It's very like positive, didn't want to upset her. And so far, I think it went over pretty well, but, it was like, what would God do in this moment? He wouldn't act in anger.
Yep.
He wouldn't say, I'm so disappointed in you and
Yes.
never do that again. So yeah, so that was difficult, but I'm glad I afterwards I was like, I'm so glad I went that route instead of what I wanted to do. So yeah.
No, that's very good. And sometimes when we get in those situations where it doesn't feel right, so it doesn't feel like we're in the right place at the right time, or that we have unlimited possibilities and resources, or that God has granted me favor in the sight of those around me. So when situations come up where that anger comes up and maybe like wanting to do the opposite of what these truths are, we have to then take a step back, which is exactly what you did, and say, well, wait a second, I don't need to get angry. I don't need to say harsh words, because God has granted me favor. I have unlimited possibilities and resources. And when we take a step back and we remind ourselves of that, then it does change the situation. And that's exactly what you did, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I was thinking God is peace and love, and this is the opposite of how I feel, until I had to do that like reprogramming of stepping into peace and love.
It'll be very interesting. Maybe next week you can share if anything changed this last week.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
will.
yeah, that would be good. All right, very good. So guys, thanks for sharing. Appreciate that. So again, we're in this series called We Have the Mind of Christ, and what I've done in my life over the past several years, if not 10 years, I've been on my own journey, and that journey for me started with gratitude. And when I understood how important gratitude is in daily living and just being grateful, then all of a sudden it opened up the mind of Christ to me. And the mind of Christ then showed me what my true identity is. And my identity is that I'm a child of God and I am deeply loved and highly favored and deeply blessed. And then because of my identity, then I started meditating, which then caused me to start to use my imagination. And then I realized that I am a co-creator with God. The way he designed me, the way he designed us is to be a co-creator, that we're on this planet to co-create with him. So he's in me, I'm in him, and this is the path that I've been on. So basically having the mind of Christ and with gratitude, which then leads to knowing our true identity, which then causes us to meditate, which then leads us to use our imagination, which then shows us that we are co-creators with God, which then leads to more gratitude, and around it goes. So this has been my journey, is it all started with gratitude. And part of what I'm also discussing is, the toolkit, giving you guys tools on how to transform who you are. And what we're focusing on today and the next several weeks is using our imagination and understanding our co-creation. Because if we go back to this list, we've spent a lot of time on gratitude and identity, but not a whole lot of on imagination and co-creation. So that's what we're going to focus on. Just as a quick reminder, last week we talked about the reticular activating system, and I just wanted to very quickly cover this. And if you didn't see last week's message, go to the link below, and I'll link last week's discussion. But the reticular activating system, Michael pretty much showed how this works when he was thinking about the MMA fighting and possibly being a little bit on the older side, but still very much interested in wanting to do it, is he put that into his reticular activating system, because what it is, it's a filter system, filters out the unnecessary from the necessary. So Michael basically told his reticular activating system to be on the lookout for anything that relates to MMA, fitness, boxing, whatever those categories are. And what the RAS does is it then finds that topic, and then it filters out all the other stuff and only brings that stuff to us. Because you're the CEO of your thoughts, you get to decide what program you want to run. So that's an example of the reticular activating system. Now, how do we then program the RAS? And the way we do that is through smarter goals. Smarter meaning specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound, exciting, and risky. So what we're going to be getting into the next several weeks is identifying what those smarter goals look like for us that are online. And we're going to kind of reveal to you examples of our own life so that those that are watching can listen and learn on your own and develop the system on your own. So again, the reticular activating system, what we want to do is we want to program it so that we're telling it what to look for. Okay. So what we're asking it to look for are on these categories. And the question is what do you want for your life? Am I satisfied with my current life experience? What if true transformation is possible? And do you want to find out how to get there? And I think for the majority of us, the RAS is a program that has been programmed over the years, over the decades. And sometimes we're not exactly sure how that program got in there. It's through our parents, our siblings, our friends, our culture, our environment. But what we need to do is be very deliberate about what the program is that we do want to run. And what I've done in my life is I've done it based on these categories: money, health, work, job, friends, spouse or significant other, kids, grandkids, and free time. So we're going to kind of deep dive into that. But before we do that, I've got a nice video to watch. So let me change my screen so it's full video, and then we can watch this clip, and then we'll come back. Okay.
You know how I got land? I was homeless. And I used to fish all the time. I wasn't fishing playing, I was fishing catching fish, because I drive to a rest area because I kept charcoal in my trunk. And when I got to them little grills on the side of the rest area, I'd take my charcoal and I'd fry my fish. But I was always fishing somewhere illegally, because I ain't own no lake or nothing. And I catch a string of bass, probably get 6, 7 on there. Hey, what are you doing over here? Get away, get out of here. I pull my string up. Hey, them fish don't belong to you. Let them fish go. I got to take all them fish off the hook and throw it back in the water. He didn't know, man, that I'm trying to eat, but I can't break no law, so I got to go about my business. So first thing I said, I told God, I said, when I get me some money, I'm going to buy me a piece of land. Because I just want a piece of land where can't nobody run me off. I just want something I can stand on. This here piece belonged to me. So this how I did it. I was reading something one day, and I said, man, how much land is on earth? So I looked it up. It's a little over 36 billion acres of land on earth. At the time, it was between 5 and 6 billion people on earth. It's a little over 8 billion now. So I did a little hood math. I said to myself, if it's 36 billion acres of land and it's 6 billion people, just to me, everybody ought to have 6 acres of land. There's a scripture my mom used to tell me about all the time. She said, you have not because you ask not. So guess what I started asking for? 6 acres of land. Just wanted 6. So I messed around and got my first piece of money. I got me a check for about $115,000. So first thing I did, went to Dallas, Texas, said I'm gonna buy me some land. I found a piece of land, I thought it was perfect. Had a fishing lake at the end of it, because I love to fish. I said, man, this piece I'm gonna buy right here. Let me talk to somebody. I was with a real estate agent. I said, how much is this? He says, $250,000. I can't afford this. So I got about 115. He said, I don't think you're gonna be able to get it for that, but I'll make a call. So he called the guy. The guy said he would take 115 now and I could pay him the rest later. And before I did it, I said, hey man, let me ask you something. How much land is that? He said, oh, that's 6 acres. It was 6 acres. I got ready to sign it up. The real estate agent said, Mr. Harvey, before you sign that, I want you to think about it. I want to show you something else. So he took me over to this dude's house. I never met this guy. He came outside, he's a hillbilly. He's just country. You know, I was a little nervous. Me and hillbillies don't really, we don't normally work that good together. His name was Jerry Campbell. Turned out to be one of the nicest men I ever met. I misjudged the man. He talked to me, he said, I want to show you something. And I go over there and I couldn't believe it, man. It had rolling hills on it. It had 4 lakes on it, fishing ponds. I said, man, look at this right here. How many acres is this, man? He said, 16 acres. I said, man, I can't afford nothing like that. He said, well, hold on, I'm in a tide right now. How much you got? I said, well, I was gonna do this other piece of land. I got 115 I'm gonna pay now. And if you give me a year to pay out the rest of it, I could buy it from you like that. He said, tomorrow morning, if you bring me a $115,000 check, I'm gonna give you this land. So I got the 16 acres of land the next day. So I said, wow, that's how it worked. You have not cause you ask not. I asked for 6. Soon as I was gonna buy the 6, he put some grace on it. Next thing you know, I got 16 for the same money. So I got to thinking, I got a couple partners in Cleveland that's locked up. They not getting out of prison. So I asked God, could I have a 6? They not getting out. They got 6 coming. Hey, Lord, can I have a 6? So you know what he did? Some land opened up next to it. I bought 18 more acres. I bought it. So I went back up to Cleveland. I was hanging out one day. My boys was on the corner. I told them, I said, look, man, I can't hang out on corners no more. I'm trying to get my TV career started. Oh, you done changed, man. This what's happening. So now you done got this little money. You done forgot where you from. I said, okay, hey, Lord, can I have A6 too? So I see right now, yeah, I see what's happening right there. They ain't finna go nowhere. So I kept asking for everybody I thought wasn't gonna ask for their 6. I asked for their 6. I ended up owning almost 300 acres of land in Denton County, Texas. But I just kept on, man. Just kept on with it. I just kept the faith. I kept believing. I kept asking him. I kept wanting. God got great life for you, man. But you're gonna have to ask for it. And when you ask for it, you're gonna have to believe it. After you believe it, you gotta put your work in. Now, if you don't wanna do the work that it takes to be successful, this man with his success, if you knew how hard he worked, if you knew the hours he put in, the hours his daddy put in, if you knew what it really took, it's daunting. It's days, man, where you go, whoa, what is this I'm trying to do? But you got to hang in there. See, getting what you want is up to you. How you get there, that's up to God. See, the problem with you is you trying to figure out how to do something. Listen to this. The how-to ain't none of your business. The Bible don't tell you to figure nothing out. It say ask, believe, and receive. Now, see, you keep going down these churches, they keep telling you this, but you ain't listening. I'm asking you to listen. You can turn your life around if you change your attitude. You change your attitude, you change your altitude. Stop sitting in here with a life of mediocrity when that ain't what God created you for. Now, you might not want this life. You might not want what it takes to get here. But if you want this life, you got to put in your work. You got to put it in, you got to stay prayerful, you got to never give up, you got to talk to God every day. Now, if that ain't what you want to do, then good luck. You keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. I would try something else if I was y'all. I appreciate y'all coming. Thank y'all very much.
All right. That doesn't motivate you. I don't know what will.
That was really amazing. It's crazy. It's like it's so true, yet it's hard to believe that when you say, oh, I really want to be famous, I really want to have this, I really want to have a mansion, I really want those acres, and they don't come in the time that you want them to come, it gets frustrating.
Yes.
Because you're like, well, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm paying my taxes, I'm treating my family good, I'm working hard at a job. Well, how come I can't have what everybody else has, like Steve Harvey? Why can't I have his comedy? Why can't I have his 300 acres that he accumulated, however he accumulated? But the proof is there, because it's happened to me where somebody came up and it was an opportunity. Yet The old Michael would have seen the opportunity, be like, nah, I'm jealous because I can't be his age.
That's
Nah.
right.
Now it's, oh, all right. I see what you're trying to say, God. It's not my business to know how you're doing it. It's my business to believe and receive,
There you
and
go.
so
And to ask.
beautiful. And
And to
ask.
ask.
And I've learned that it's like you feel kind of dumb asking yourself, like, hey, can you have that? But your brain starts to understand that concept, because if it can understand negativity so well, then it should be able to understand positive
There you
just as
go.
well.
Exactly. That's right. You got it. So so yeah, absolutely. Down at the bottom, you can see being a co-creator, we get to choose the what. God chooses the how and the when. But our issue, my issue for many, many years is I didn't ask. I just kind of accepted my lot in life, and this is the way it's going to be. And but I wasn't asking specifically. So what we're doing now today and for the upcoming weeks, in fact, we're going to be spending a lot of time on this, is understanding what the new mindset is. And then from there, we're actually going to create a vision board. So just like Steve talked about, right, where he just kept on going on, right, and he kept it in his mindset, he kept it in prayer, and the vision board that we're going to create from this new mindset will be what we're going to use to basically reprogram our mind. So what I've done here is on the left side, and I know I asked you, each of you, to fill out the mindset worksheet. And by the way, that is also, I'll send a link. I'll put a link down at the bottom for you to go. It's on the hundredfoldjourney.com website. It's right at the top of the page, money mindset. The idea is for you to fill out this sheet and talk about your current mindset and what the new mindset is. And we're going to focus all of our attention on the new mindset. The old mindset, I went ahead and just threw these in here. And if there's something that just, says, oh, you missed this one, Doug. But for the most part, this is what our current mindset, these were my mindset, and some others that I've heard of, is the current mindset is need to work hard for my money, right? That money it's hard. It's hard to come by. Money is only for the rich. You have to be smart to manage money. Money is the root of all evil. I was raised in a poor environment, and it's just my lot in life. I will never have enough money. I'm worried about the recession and what it will do with my money. Everything is so expensive. I can't afford what I want. I have a limited supply of money. As soon as I get it, I either spend it or it's taken away. And I will not be able to retire anytime soon. So unless I miss something big, I mean, that pretty much summarizes and I'll just say the 30-60, basically the mindset of most of the world, most of the population, that is their mindset. And what we want to do is shift into this new mindset. Now, back to the RAS, the Reticular Activating System. So now when the current mindset, that is what you have programmed your mind to look for. Money is hard. It's only for the rich. It's evil. So the mind will now look for things that verify. I'm sorry, I don't know the right word, but it will now look for that and support that belief. It'll actually find it. So when you read, when you listen to the news, when you talk to people, you're going to be around people that say, oh yeah, money is always difficult. It's always hard. And the RAS is going to say, yep, see, I told you, that's what you told me to look for. And now I found it. So we're going to reprogram our minds so that we have a new mindset. So now the question is, and we're going to do this together. So now I'm in edit mode. What should the new mindset be? So let's go through and just rattle off some things, and then we'll talk specifically about one of your goals for money. So who would like to start? Just start throwing things out. What is the new mindset?
A new mindset would be everything I have, everything I need is already taken care of.
Okay.
Or if more specifically, I'm going to have a wonderful time at my job today, since it's tied in with money, right?
Mhm.
I would like to see a it's a hard one. I'm trying to get it financially. Like I'd like to see an improvement in my weekly budget.
Okay. So what would that
I'd like to budget
statement?
better.
Sorry?
I would like to budget better, or learn how to budget better.
So that would be an old mindset.
Oh.
What statement would a current mindset say?
Well, current mindset would say, my budget is good enough.
Okay, is good enough the statement that you want?
I think Rachel has a better one.
So my current mindset is I am rich. I have all the money that I need. You know, like in that video, you know, he was going to be happy with the 6 acres, I think it was, but he said, well, why don't I just throw this out there? So then you got the 16 acres. So the current mindset is I'm already rich with the 6 acres. I already have everything that I want. And then you got more. So my current mindset is I have the money that I need. Money is not hard. Money is easy to come by. That's it.
Good. Love it. Jeremy?
I think to expand on that, I would actually have to say that there's money everywhere. It's just how do you get it? You know, like there's value to everything. It's just how do I obtain the value of what I have or what I can obtain.
Okay, so that's the current mindset. So what would the new mindset statement be?
Ooh, that's difficult because I'm so stuck in that mindset.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly. So that's what, there's your program, right? The RAS is saying that, hey, it's out there, but I just can't find it. It's not coming to me. So now your RAS, when you're out talking out in the environment, then that's what it's going to reflect back to you. It's like, okay, Jeremy said that it's out there, but it's hard to attain. Therefore, your experience is going to be that. So what would be, so just rewind that back to what the statement should be instead, how you would like to see it.
I obtain money everywhere for it, pretty much. Or would that be it?
One more time. Say that again one more time.
I obtain money everywhere that I search for it.
Why do you have to search for it?
Or everywhere that I see it.
What if you can't see it? Is it still there if you can't see it?
Okay, worded better. I attain money everywhere I perceive it.
Okay. Is the money still there whether you perceive it or not?
Yes.
Okay. So how would you change the statement to reflect that?
I was never good at grammar.
It's all right. It's all right. What would be a better, an easier statement? Because perceive means you got to be looking.
Mm-hmm.
And looking means that you have to be able to find it. You have to be able to see it in order to attain it. And what I'm suggesting is you don't need to do that because it's already there. So if it's already there, you don't need to perceive it. What do you need to do instead?
Sorry, brain fart.
That's all right. It's all right.
You're making me think a lot.
No, that's good. That's exactly.
Well, I think for Jeremy, if I can help, if I can say something, what I would say
Yeah.
is money is flowing everywhere. Money is flowing, and it's just gonna come to me. All I have to do is receive it. I mean, that's how I would answer that.
Yep.
But what about why does money even matter? Is that like old mindset?
Well, it does. It does matter because that's what that's what our economy is based on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, but you're kind of going down a different path, Michael, which ultimately would be, it doesn't matter, right? Because all your needs are constantly met, right? You don't have to have money. So remember, money, the way we think of money is that it's a physical structure, right? It's a dollar bill, it's our credit card, but really money is used to provide our needs.
Information, really.
Right, but money is what provides our needs. Our food, our housing, our cars, all of that stuff. But really sometimes we can receive things without particular money, right? We can be given things, we can be granted things. So but that's for a future discussion. So for right now,
Yeah.
I think, I'd like to focus on our mindset, because we do have mindset around money. Just like Jeremy was saying, his mindset was, well, it's everywhere, but I can't attain it. But as Rachel pointed out, money is always flowing. It's out there. It's always, and the direction I like is it's flowing to me, right? It's flowing to me, and I have to just receive it. I have to accept it.
Right.
And also, just to add one more thing, I mean, you already said it, but it's what I think is what will happen. So if I'm thinking, well, money's too hard to get, I'm never going to get it, might be out there, but it's not for me, that's what's going to return back to you.
Yes.
But if you're saying, I am rich, and I mean, it sounds silly and like I kind of want to laugh when I say it, but that's what will be reflected back to me.
That's correct.
So.
And if it's not, just like the worksheet said, is how do I know what my current mindset is? All you have to do is look at your current life situation, because life is a mirror which reflects back. So if you want to know what your current mindset is, just look at what's around you, right? And if you don't like what you see, then change your mindset, because life is a mirror. So Jeremy, I think I'd like to really focus on you and a new statement for you in regards to money. So I like the start of money is always flowing to me, but what do you really want? What is your want? What do you want to do with that money? What is that going to free you up to be able to do? So make a statement of what you want as it relates to money.
So my current mindset with money at the moment is that money is strictly for my survival. It helps pay for my bills. It helps just keep me comfortable. What I want for my new mindset is that I want the money to be able to give me the experience that I am longing for.
And what
You know, I want
experience do you want?
life.
What kind of life?
A life of, happiness, a life of travel, prosperity for me and the people who are around me and have believed in me, just like I just want to be able to, live the life that I've always dreamed of,
And
being
what
able
is your life that you always dreamed of?
to travel, to, be able to give prosperity to my family, to my friends, and
Okay,
just,
so sorry for interrupting. So over to the right, you'll see that your Mindshift, your goal, your vision statement for money needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound, exciting, and risky. Okay, so be very specific. Let's start with specific. So money, so what do you want money to do for you? You want to earn, you want to travel, you want to freedom. So what specific?
prosperity.
Right, but what does prosperity look like? Prosperity is not specific. Prosperity is, you're looking at a thousand foot view. We want to bring it down to floor level. What
High
does
level.
prosperity look like to you? Money allows me to,
Not worry. Not have to worry about
okay, so what do you want to do
tomorrow.
instead of worry? So let's don't focus on the negative, let's focus on the positive. What do you want to do instead of worry?
Be content.
Is that so you just want to be content?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how will that be measured? How will your contentment be measured?
I really don't know how to describe it. It's um
How do you imagine your life? How do you want your life to be as it relates to money?
you're making me think hard, Doug.
Are you debt free? Do you have a house somewhere on the ocean, in the hills? Is the house paid for? Who's living with you? What activities do you want to be doing with your money?
A million things just flew through my head while you were saying those.
Yeah,
I think what Doug's really trying to do is kind of get our imagination
there you go.
active,
Imagination. Yes.
And he's doing
because
it. Don't get me
I was
wrong.
just
It's just
and I was just talking to my sister the other day. I didn't get to join her volleyball graduation, but I texted her, said the beautiful thing about imagination is I can be there in body and mind. And now that I'm bringing the imagination part up is that you can imagine I already have a house, I already have the money, I already have. I mean, money is meant for survival, but I think it's also meant to bring our life along, in different ways. I don't know. It is difficult to imaginate when you have been in a different mindset for so long.
Right. Yep.
because it's like you see your mom, you see your dad, they're successful, you see your cousins, your friends, they're successful, and you start to wonder, well, why am I not that successful? And then you hear their stories and they say, well, I never had that negative mindset. I never had that no. I always had that yes. And so I think one of the new mindsets is I or one of the mindsets is I have a beautiful house. I have a beautiful wife. My wife has we have beautiful kids. I already have all that. So I
Right.
have a house.
But just like Steve Harvey, right?
Yeah.
3 acres, 6 acres, 18 acres. What kind of house do
And
you
then you said
want?
asking,
Where do
right?
you
So
want that to be?
wasn't the new mindset the same thing as asking for what you want?
100%. 100%.
So I would want financial stability so that I can give my kids an inheritance when I pass away, is a goal. So I already have an inheritance for my children. I already have a college fund for my children because I already know I'm capable of it because I'm capable of it now. The old mindset would be I'm capable, but I don't know if I'm capable enough.
Yeah. Right. Mhm. So here is an example of
What about selling business, Jeremy? Sorry to interrupt, but Jeremy, I know one is like I'd like to eventually sell my business, which I already have for profit. I mean, that's not an old mindset, is it?
no.
Well, no, it's just I'd want my businesses to prosper more. You know, I want them to grow.
Okay. So grow. To what extent? My business will be sold at what dollar value?
Well, I wouldn't say sold, but at least valued at
Okay.
125K.
Okay. And how long will it take you to get there?
Three years.
So that
I may have the financial stability that I dream of.
so let's use the assumption you already have financial freedom. So what are you going to do with that freedom? So that you
So
can
that I
do
have
what?
financial freedom to live the life that I have wanted.
And
Or
what does that life look like? What do you want to do?
a life of travel, a life of
So that I
happiness,
can
a life
travel where? Abroad or in the US?
wherever I feel like it, pretty much. Wherever I
Globally.
feel like yes.
Okay.
Um,
And
a strong relationship with someone.
share
Um,
that with a significant other
mhm. Being able to give prosperity to my family and friends.
and support my family and friends. Okay. All right. So let's Jeremy, read that last sentence off and tell me how it feels. Read it out loud.
My businesses are valued at 125,000 in the next 3 years so that I can travel globally and share that with a significant other and support my family and friends.
How does that feel? Did it put a smile on your face like, yes? Or was like, Well, that's pretty close,
Yes,
but
yes, honestly, yes.
huh?
Yes, honestly, yes.
Cool. So it's specific, right? 125K, measurable, 3 years. Attainable? Does that feel like, yeah, that's not so attainable means my business is valued at $3 billion in 3 years. It's like, nah, you know what? That's probably not going to happen. So your gut is saying, you know what? That probably is not going to happen. So attainable, it has to be, yeah, you know what? That excites me. That would be awesome. Realistic, same thing. Is it realistic? Of course. Time bound, 3 years. Is it exciting? Did it put a smile on your face when you made that statement? Yes. Is it a little bit risky? Well, 3 years is pretty aggressive, but hey, that's doable, right?
I
I
have
mean,
go ahead.
have done crazier. I mean, look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. They started their stuff out of their garage.
There
Even
you go.
Bezos.
There you
They're
go.
multi-billion-dollar companies, and they started from nothing.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt, but can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is, for example, when you're laying in bed, you're closing your eyes, and you imagine experiencing what it feels like when you get that first $115,000 check.
Mhm.
Is that manifesting or is that
Yes.
lacking?
No, that's manifesting.
Because I do
Because
go
what
sometimes
you're,
and yeah, go ahead.
sorry, when you do that, you're using your imagination and you're feeling the feelings of having that already. And you're grateful and you're appreciative about having it already,
Yeah.
right? So you have chosen the what. If you are doing that at night and you're going, man, I can't wait till it comes. What do I need to do? I'm not sure how it's going to come about. Then that is not manifesting. That's manifesting in the wrong direction, right?
Right.
It's
It's not
programming.
resting
Yeah.
based off
So
anxiety, right?
correct. Correct. So Jeremy, so now what we're going to do is each one of these things that we're going to be talking about each week, the next one is going to be health. Um, we want to come up with a specific vision for what your health is going to look like, just like we did with your money. And you can fine tune this however way you want. But again, I think this is great. So we also want Rachel and Michael to provide us with a statement such as this. So Rachel, to your mindset, your current mindset is you had mentioned, I'm already rich, I have all the money I need, money is not hard and it's easy to come by. So what I'd like you and Michael to do is now let's put some meat behind that and make a statement just like Jeremy did that's a smarter and we'll talk about that next week. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So Jeremy, so between now and next week, I'd like you to put this into your reticular activating system that your business is valued at 125 in the next 3 years so that you can travel globally. What's going to happen quite literally within a period of time, we don't know how, we don't know when, but in a certain period of time, all of a sudden opportunities are going to come across your path because that's what you're programming your mind to look for. And all of a sudden you'll start to see things, and I'm just going to use travel, for example, traveling globally. There might be an email, there might be somebody you overhear, there might be a picture that says, man, we just took a trip to the Bahamas and take a look at these pictures. So all of a sudden, you're going to hear that and you're going to say, Bahamas. Now, I just talked about traveling globally. I wonder if I want to go to Bahamas. Then you start thinking about the Bahamas. You think, man, that would be an awesome. Or it might be, no, not the Bahamas. That doesn't look right. And then all of a sudden, another one will pop up, right? But usually, what will pop up is the location that you would want to go to, right? Again, it's not the how and the when. It'll come down from the mind of Christ. And I'm saying down, sorry, that's really not right. It's coming from the mind of Christ, because the mind of Christ knows what you want, what you truly want, and what you believe. So what I'm saying is keep your eyes and ears open for things as you're talking, and your reticular activating system will filter out all the nonsense and bring into you your vision statement here for you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to next week hearing, Doug, you would not believe this came
I'm
across.
hoping
And
for it. I'm hoping for it.
no, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then, of course, you can refine this, right? Right now, today is, November 6th. And, in the next couple of days, you might change this, you might refine it, whatever feels right in your gut, whatever, puts that smile on your face. That's like, yes, that would be so cool. That's the vision that you want, right? All right, so we're at an hour. So guys, thank you for your patience as we work through this. But next week, I think money is so key and central to basically life, that I would like to go through with Rachel and Michael's, and then hear from Jeremy this last week if you want to change this or modify it. What I'll do is I'll text this to you, Jeremy, so that you have this. I'm not sure if you took a screenshot or not, but yeah, write this down, put it on a 3x5, index card or something, write that statement word for word, plaque it somewhere, put it somewhere where you're going to see it. And then as Michael said, at night when you go to bed, think that through. Oh yeah, 125K in 3 years. It's going to be so awesome, and be grateful that it's coming. It's already here. And it's just going to be, it's just going to be revealed to you.
That key of having that mindset, but also being grateful for the exact moment that you're breathing, that there is a difficult task. And I do believe that this vision board gives us more strength to be able to be like, I'm grateful, plus I can have those beautiful imaginations of what I already have. That's the place that I believe that's the most inner peace you will ever have, is when you come to a place that you don't want what you want because you're so happy, but at the same time you can appreciate the vision.
Absolutely.
Like, will having $100,000 more really change my life? No, it's not. What's going to change my life is programming, reprogramming, and in talking to my brain and figuring out, hey, how hard is it to forgive my own self? I mean, it all starts with those 10 truths, that you give us. Is like, you can't make a vision board without the 10 truths. How?
That's right. Yeah.
How? It's impossible.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, good comments, Michael. So
now I do have one more question. Sorry to
go ahead.
But if I used to have an old friend, and he would post money all around his house. Like, he put like $50 on the wall, $50 in his bathroom. He posted all, like, I'd walk into his house and I'd be like, dude, why is all this money hanging on the wall? And he's like, well, it's a reminder that I don't need it, but I still see it because it's still a passion. And I was like, man, can I take one of these $50 bills off the wall? He's like, oh, he's like, go ahead. He's like, take as much as you want. I didn't take any money, but that's the spot where I want to be at. Is his mindset is like, he puts money, he doesn't, like, that could be used for school or bills, and it's just, if you see it every day, is that something that helps with that manifestation? Like putting the vision board up on your wall and looking at it every day, does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. It does.
All right. Just wanted to make sure that.
Yep. And as long as you're not viewing it from a position of lack, you're viewing it from a position of abundance. So in other words, that $50 bills, man, I wish I had more because I don't have enough. That's coming from a state of lack, rather than a state of abundance is, God, thank you that I have that $50. It's there. It's always going to be there. If I need it, it's there, but you know, I don't need it right now because all my needs are constantly met. That's from a position of abundance. And I think for his mindset, putting those bills up, and it sounds like this was the case, is he would look at it not from a state of lack, but a state of abundance. I have so much money, I can
Oh,
actually
yeah.
placard it around my house. I
He
mean, who
told me,
cares if somebody takes it or not? Because
yeah,
I
he told
have
me I could take
plenty.
as much as I wanted,
That's right.
because to him it wasn't about the money, it was about the fact that he had the ability to control his mind.
There you go. Exactly. Exactly. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks again for joining us on the Sundays with Doug. I will post the last week's lesson as well as the mindset, money mindset on our website. So please pull that down. And looking forward to talking to you guys next week. Have a good week. Bye for now.